Explorer, this is Houston.
Go ahead, Houston.
Mission abort. Repeat. Mission abort.
Explorer, this is Kowalski confirming visual contact with debris. Debris is from a BSE sat. Repeat. I have a record.
Dr. Stone requesting faster transport.
We have to go. We have to go, go, go.
Kennedy reports meteorological conditions. Go, go.
Houston, Explorer, copy. Explorer, Dr. Stone requesting faster transport to Bay Area. Explorer, do you copy?
Explorer, permission to retrieve Dr. Stone.
Your go, Kowalski. Houston, this is Explorer, copy.
All right.
We've lost Houston. We've lost Houston.
Look, we need to get the hell out of here. Need some help there, man? No, don't wait for us.
It's stuck.
Man down.
Houston,
Man down.
So what prompted you to take the role in the first place? Obviously, it's kind of a different world for you to take on, fairly sort of
To the
grim,
sci-fi world,
a fairly
right?
sort of grim sci-fi film.
I mean, I always feel like every film is a sci-fi film. If you look at a soundstage and what we do for a living, it's all sci-fi. No, I mean, I don't, we all approach it the same way in that you try to build a character, you try to figure out what parts of yourself you can bring to it, what things you have to learn. I had to learn a lot of new things about myself and add to my repertoire, but everybody did. It was the great unknown, this film.
Don't detach that arm going to carry you too far.
Can you talk a little about the working conditions? I was speaking to Alfonso, who was sort of describing the cube and the kind of arm, the hydraulic arm and all this kind of stuff. I mean, maybe if you can talk a little bit about
We
what it
would
was
be
like for
here
you.
all day if we had to talk about all the mechanisms. And to you know, Alfonso's credit, he asks that instead of describing how we make it, go enjoy it and see what we made. Later on, they'll do the DVD, and there'll be hours upon hours of the most astonishing technology, contraptions that will make no sense until you see a human in them. Artists doing things that weren't possible until they did them because the technology wasn't available. I mean, there'll be endless hours of footage of that. But now, for this moment, we don't want to talk too much about how it was made because there's enough out there, but we don't want to take away from the suspension of belief that you're able to have in this because of all that hard work.
Do you copy?
There was sort of quite a lot of religious sort of critics saying, you know, that very much this is about the sort of arc of Christianity and, you know,
Jesus.
this sort of thing.
Yeah.
I mean, I know it's quite heavy stuff. I
Lordy.
didn't really want
Lord.
to get
I mean,
into really heavy stuff, but I just thought, you know, I suppose it's like contacting the infinite, contemplating your own, you know, the
your own
character's
demise.
death
I mean,
and all that kind of stuff.
I mean,
so.
contemplating your own demise, contemplating your life, contemplating your loss, figuring out, or a character figuring out a reason why she should try to live, or try to at least attempt to save her own life when the last thing she wants to do is live on Earth because of a loss. I mean, I think all of those pieces leads you to faith. You know, whatever your faith is, you know, it doesn't have to be in a religious context. It's human faith. What is it that humans inherently have, so many have, that allow them to dig deeper through adversity and somehow stand up and try? You know, you go, why? If you really have nothing to live for, why do they always seem to find that thing? Some base it on their religious faith, some people base it on their spiritual faith, some people have just that will, and some people can't find that thing. And here we meet a character who has not found that thing. And she even says, I don't know how to pray. Never done it in my life, nobody taught me, so I don't know, you know, and when people, I've heard when you get to that experience in life, you pray. But it was a good thing to bring up in the question of what if you weren't raised in that world? Can you still find that faith? And it's absolutely, it exists for everyone. Yeah, and I know Alfonso was very, very, very cautious about pointing any religious tones in anyone's direction. He's a very spiritual man, not a religious man, and it's about letting everyone apply what they believe, rather than telling the audience what to believe or what to feel.
From someone called Stalky.
Ooh, Stalky. How's it going?
Yes, says, do you just wait to see what scripts are offered, or is there a challenging dream role you have in mind that you would like to take on?
Oh, good question. Sometimes I hunt for things. If I feel now I want to do this, and I'll actively hunt. Like for The Heat, I wanted to do a broad male comedy that women weren't allowed to do, so I was looking for scripts that were written for men, and I wanted to change them to women's roles, and then The Heat showed up. It always happens that when I say I'm not going to work, I'm not interested in going anywhere, the most amazing opportunities pass by. So there's no rhyme or reason to it. I will hunt, and sometimes I'm blessed with like an unexpected treat. So both things that you mentioned are absolutely true.
Somebody called The Truth Hurts says,
It does.
Do you have any plans to direct a movie one day?
Oh, no, I would never do that to anyone. I directed a short, actually, that I wrote, sort of to put myself through film school, because I was very interested in producing. I love that time. I do not have the talent or the patience for it. There are people that are just born to do that job. I'm not one of those people.
When Demolition Man was in production, way back when, brackets, a great flick, did you realise your role would catapult you into stardom?
I don't think that one catapulted me. It was Speed that did that. Demolition Man was a fun thing that I did right on the heels of Speed. The filming of it was so much fun. It was daunting. I'd gone from little tiny films to, oh no, I'm sorry, I did Demolition Man before Speed. Oh,
yeah,
see?
Because I think, just as a viewer, that was, I remember thinking, who's that?
I did Demolition Man first.
Yeah.
And I'd gone from tiny little films that were very art house films to doing this daunting, effects-filled, futuristic film with Sylvester Stallone and Wesley Snipes, who are just like, you would just freeze when they came in the room. And yeah, and I had all this dialogue, and it was all about waiting for the camera to come in, and I had this dialogue that wasn't natural to say, and I would flub it, and then the producer would yell at me, and I was like, I know my lines, I just don't know how to work with these things. But once you got used to that environment, it was so cool. Like everything that was made was operational. These artists, again, very much like Gravity, these artisans made functional art. And I loved that world. I loved it. I had such a good time. It was the big boys club, but they allowed me in, and I greatly appreciated it.
Somebody called Hagen88. As a film producer, do you feel any weight of responsibility in trying to make projects that help female actors and filmmakers?
Oh, completely. But in the end, you hire the best for the job. But absolutely. I mean, my tastes are what they are, and I have worked with extraordinary women in this business, actors, producers, directors, writers, and they're no different than men. You just find the best product. But I do tend to reach out to my own to see if there's that product within the female world. But it's getting better. It's getting a lot better. And I hope that through what I do on film opens the doors for others. Again, it's all about making money. So if the film is successful, all of a sudden they go, oh, people want to see a woman in something. So knock on wood that maybe what I can leave behind is the opportunity for all the brilliantly talented people behind me to, have more films available because they make money. Fabrice asked, this is quite a straightforward question, what's your favourite movie of all time and why? I mean, I have several for various reasons, but there's one movie that always strikes me when I'm asked this question because it reminds me of why I love movies since I was a little kid, and it's Cinema Paradiso. And the memories of that film, and looking at life and looking at regrets and looking at what the moving image did to the child's imagination, and it being set in this European village in Italy. And I mean, all of my childhood came rushing back when I saw that. And for me, there's so many amazing films. You can go from Kubrick to Hitchcock to current day film. There's the whole, I mean, you've got the normal list, but for me emotionally, that film always reminds me of my life. What I loved about films, what I remembered about films, what I remembered about my childhood, and why I love movies.
Houston, you copy? Houston, this is Mission Specialist Ryan Stone. I am off structure and I'm drifting. Do you copy? Anyone?